Uh-oh. That sounded ominous, TJ.
Oh, you're, yeah. It's Amigos After Dark. I'm TJ. That's Adam. Welcome one, welcome all. Hope you are here and ready to enjoy the show. And you guys, wow. You are not going to believe the first thing I've got up for tonight. You're just not going to believe that. It's insane. It is insane. And it makes me very happy that I'm not at my old job now.
Dude, that's that kind of sweet revenge type of thing that you didn't have to do.
Dude, I didn't have to do anything. And once I get it brought up, we actually have a video about what I'm going to talk about.
Really?
This video.
This
is insane. This is insane. I'm going to go ahead and try to look it up now. But I could not believe this. I was completely blown away by this when I heard about it. And I went, oh my God, you've got to be kidding me. Yeah, here it is. I believe that, yep. Let me see here. I've got two different TikTok videos. This is what I'm looking for right here. Hoping it'll play. This, and it was crazy. Just absolutely crazy. Let me get it. As soon as it gets going here, let me get it paused. This comes from one of my former students, okay? This comes from one of my former students, Lentrick Young. And, oh my God. Oh my God. I have to talk about it. So, let me get this brought up for you. And this is, like I said, this is from one of my former students. Check this out.
Oh, TikTok. Oh, what happened up here? I'm passing by. Look at all the police and the ambulance. What ran on up here? Look at that shit. I see a hazmat truck out here. I see a couple of trucks out here. Oh, this is my old school. What happened out here? What went on? What is going on out here right now? Look like they had a truck problem. That is crazy. That's a lot of people out here.
Just a little truck
problem.
Something
went wrong with the truck.
Oh.
Dang, it's a lot of hazmat out there. You got one truck over there on the side. There's one pulling off. You got a big hazmat truck there. You got a little one there. You have another firefighter here. And it looked like a tow truck. What's going on out here, you guys? What's happening? It looked like something's wrong with the truck. What's going on back there?
Oh, yeah.
Now, I don't know what. I don't know what's happening, but I want to take a guess.
Okay. I'm waiting. Take a guess.
Check that out.
Okay. So my guess is one of the either one of the current students or one of the new teachers that replaced you wrecked their cab and caused a diesel spill.
Who is this guy?
You are actually.
I wonder was he involved in it?
You're not far off.
He's a small little car.
That was like fat guy in a little car. You notice that?
Mess out here right now.
Yeah.
A lot of fire trucks. One just left. It's another one out here. I was just passing by TikTok. Y'all know I'm going to share this shit with y'all. This is my school. This look like one of our trucks, man, that went down. Glad I got out of here on time. Like they're cleaning up something back there. But I'm glad I got up out of here. But I see the rig is picking it up right now. I'm glad my days is over with. I want to know who this guy is they're talking to. I wonder, was he involved? Somebody call me and tell me what happened out here at this school. I know one of my instructors is up here somewhere. What is really going on out here?
I know, right?
That is crazy, y'all. I see it say that big truck say hazmat on the side. And I see that little one says hazmat. And I see they got some brooms and stuff sweeping up over here, cleaning up some stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I see that there's one fire truck here, and there was one on the other side. He left, and I don't know who this guy is they're talking to, but it is a guy out there.
Is he sure it's a guy? I mean, you never know. With
really
people these days, you never know.
Right now. Yeah. I had to refocus my camera. I see it's a
that could have been a transgender woman.
So I see it was a situation. I'll find out tomorrow. Once I go by the school and see what's happening, somebody's in trouble. Somebody's going to have to put out some money. Have to get some new trucks. That was the test truck, y'all. We don't know how they going to test out now. Jeez, help them, help them. What is really going on?
Oh man, yeah.
What is wrong? Trucks down, trucks down. What is going on with you guys? Get it together.
So, I mean, obviously he doesn't know how to shut the fuck up, right?
Yeah. That's okay.
But my God, right there, okay? Yeah. So let's get into what happened.
Yeah.
They were using the test.
Guess. Let's hear
it. They were using the test truck for maneuvers. And all of a sudden there was this big bang. Well, the big bang that happened after the student that was behind the wheel pretty much jammed the transmission was they spun the drive shaft out of the truck.
Oh,
and when it took the drive shaft out, it ripped out half the wiring harness, and then it got the fuel lines running from the tank to the fuel pump, punctured those, and it was spilling diesel all over the yard.
So you have wiring and fuel.
Right. And a truck sitting there, and you're going, okay, this is just, what a great mix for disaster ready to happen, right? So I'm on the road with my coworker and kind of getting the feel for what I'm doing, and I'm driving back, and I get the call about this. Now, I get the call at like 8:40.
Okay.
8:30, and told about it. I talked to my coworker a little bit. We're laughing, and then I call up my old boss, and I go, hey, by the way, I heard about what happened. He goes, yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what to do. This is 9:15, by the way. What do you mean you're trying to figure out what to do? Well, I'm trying to figure out what to do. They're saying call the fire department. I'm like, yeah. Now, between the time that I found out and the time that the fire department actually got out there, so you figure about 20 minutes for response, right? With all of that, it rained. And it started rolling the diesel down the asphalt.
Yeah.
Making this even worse.
Mm-hmm.
And he asked me, what do you think I should do? I'm like, call fucking the fire department out and get it taken care of. It's a hazmat spill. Well, okay, yeah. Well, let me get off of here and I'll talk to you later. This is 9:20, right?
Now,
he did that video.
This TikTok is at night.
You got it.
9:15 a.m.
No. This was all in the evening. This was all night. Okay. But still, when they saw this thing was leaking diesel and they had no way for containment, the fire department should have been called immediately.
Yeah.
To take care of it. No. Now we're rolling into, about 9:20. We're done with the phone call. And then he goes ahead and he calls the fire department. Figure about 15 minutes for them to respond. Now you're at about 9:35. The thing blew at 8 o'clock at night. Now you're an hour and a half. No excuse.
Like, the thing is, the instructor who was on scene, if there was one, should have made the fire department call then.
Yeah, immediately. Okay.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, he did the next best thing. He contacted my former boss and he goes, well, hey, what do I do? Oh, let me get some options together and hang out with the truck. And now, mind you, you notice there was nobody else there except for that one guy in that white little Ford Focus, right?
Right.
Okay. It's sitting there. The other instructors, the other two that I used to work with, they left. And the truck's sitting there leaking diesel. They wait until about 8:45 and they left. They went home.
So, yeah, have fun with that. See ya.
So now you have this massive hazmat spill that is now mixed with rain, that is now rolling down asphalt and down concrete to dirt.
Yeah.
Where they're going to have to reclaim the dirt.
Yeah.
He's saying, oh, somebody's going to get hurt by that. No, somebody's going to get fired over this.
Yeah.
So last night on my way, or this morning on my way home from work, I ended up talking to one of my old coworkers who was a firefighter that worked at Trimac, right?
Okay.
And I said, hey, just out of curiosity, you know a little bit more about this than I do. With that kind of a spill and what happened here, what are they going to be looking at? And he goes, oh, dude, no, on the nice end, if they manage to sweet talk their way through this, you're talking a bill from the fire department to the tune of $150,000 to $175,000.
Now, isn't that enough to buy a decent rig?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which
and
you're going to have to replace after this.
And then he says, I'm thinking to the tune of $175,000 to $200,000 to the EPA. Not to mention, now they are running a very, very good chance of losing their accreditation, which means that shuts down the CDL program school-wide.
Yeah.
It's dead. Now, once they get through their red tape and they get through, they've got a little bit of time. They better enjoy it while they can, because Texas don't play with that at all. Now, there's a second video that he put up. Let me bring that up.
Okay.
That actually shows the leak.
Oh.
It shows the leak. Here's the kicker. You see the leak. Now, you saw the time that he did the video when everybody arrived, right?
Right.
The leak. When he does this video, I want you to see if you notice something. Let me get it brought up here. And again, I mean, this is one of them where I was like, this is insane.
So karma really came in bit after.
Karma is there.
You can't really call it revenge because you personally didn't do this to them, right?
What's that?
There wasn't any sabotage or anything like that, right, TJ?
No, I did not do anything to this. Oh, my God.
Like, let me just state,
Here we go. All right, here we go.
Was done by
This is I got to turn his
if your car
audio
fucked
down
up,
here.
don't panic, don't trip with these.
All right, what do you notice about these pictures that he's playing here? What time of day are they? Look at that right there. Whoa.
Yeah.
Right there. Look at that. Do you
Yeah.
see that fuel and how it's coming out?
Uh-huh.
And, oh, this is under the truck, right?
Right.
Do you notice anything about these pictures? And the time of day?
I'll say this is, well, this appears to me to be at night because it's all black background.
Well, you're looking down at asphalt, but look how bright it is off of the frame.
Yeah.
That's daylight.
Oh, God. Yep.
Look at that. Look at that carnage there. So you see where the drive shaft is busted and then how it ripped out that wiring harness. Look at all of that.
We got all the, all those
tore it out.
Uh-huh.
And this is between the catwalk and the rear differential. He's looking down in the daylight. And you can see where it's just spewing fuel. It ripped the whole fuel system apart.
Yeah, because you can see some of the fuel coming out in the center of that last picture.
Yeah, right here.
Right there. Yeah. It's just,
it's just perfect view of it.
It's peeing. It has two streams of diesel.
Yeah,
pits.
yeah. It's like a non-clean vagina just sitting there peeing all over the ground, you know? Yeah. But when you look at that, you got the pictures there during the day.
Yeah.
And then you have the video we just watched of the final response when they got there and they're cleaning it up. That is a couple hours of elapsed time.
Yeah.
This is evidence that you know the EPA is going to use, and they're going to say, you should have said something.
Yeah.
You should have had us out here when this happened.
Your instructor is going to call us immediately.
Right.
Instead of going to you and you twiddling your thumbs and telling X worker told you what to do.
Right. Yeah, yeah. So I have to tell them, I'm like, you need to call out the fire department now. Okay, yeah. I'll talk to you later. Don't say my name 3 times. Like, come on, dude. Get your shit together, you know?
Okay, DJ.
Pretty much. Yeah. Twiddle the thumbs, and then we make the fucking phone call. And now all of a sudden, now they get out there after it went from a minor to medium hazmat spill to add rain to diesels rolling into dirt to now it's a massive hazmat spill.
Yeah, and to have that leak keep going.
Right.
To that point. Yeah.
That went from stupidity to shit the bed.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, holy fuck, you really waited that long to do what the hell?
It's like you're looking at what, like $300,000 in fines before you take a look at the rig itself.
Oh yeah, that's before. Yeah. And they're gonna go like, well, it's probably cheaper to fix it and do a Band-Aid on it. No, that whole wiring harness is ripped out of that truck. That drive shaft is a broken.
It's like if you just did the wiring, the labor on that alone is gonna be massive. So you might as well just get a new truck, know everything with it is okay.
Yeah.
And that's if you keep your accreditation.
You're talking almost 60 hours to repair just that wiring harness.
Yeah.
drive shaft Gandhi, transmission shot. You know, this thing is toast. So then Mr. Fire Department guy goes, well, I think what happened is one of these students decided to take off with the brakes still set on this truck, and that's what snapped that drive shaft. Okay, genius, you know, you take your fucking stupid fat donut sucking ass over there and you shut the fuck up because you have no clue what the fuck you're talking about. Don't even try to guess. You have no idea what you're looking at, and you're trying to tell me, a driver, former mechanic, what the fuck happened here? And a former instructor and one familiar with that truck did is watch students put it in gear and run it down the parking lot with the fucking brakes set. Go over there, fat donut sucking fucker. Go. Get out your little fucking hose and just spray down the lot. Just go over. No. And we're not talking to one in your pants. We're talking to one that came off the fire truck. Like, my God, how people are so fucking retarded is beyond me. And I mean that in the nicest of all sense.
God bless their hearts.
I mean, no, I was just like, you gotta be kidding me. So from the pictures from when it happened to the next video, that's going to be perfect. Perfect. This is what happened. They can set up the time frame on how long it actually took for the call to come in. And I'm guaranteeing you, once they do, it ain't looking pretty.
Yeah. Because the more the EPA and fire department have to do, the higher chance that those fines are going to be higher.
Right. I'm just looking at it, just tally and tally and tally and tally and tally up, and I'm going. I feel sorry for like my former coworkers, the instructors that are there. I feel sorry for the students especially, because they paid for this course and they pay for the equipment and they pay for all of this to be there and readily available for them to learn how to do the trade. That's about where my sympathy goes with this whole thing.
Okay.
On the other hand, I'm like, I got out of there in time. It has not been a week. It had not been a week and this shit happened. I'm like, man, talk about the nick of time. I'm out.
Seeing all those pictures and stuff, you just feel the fines inching closer to half a bill there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's going to crush that whole program.
Dude, like I said, I got out of the truck on Tuesday when I got back, and it was skip to Maluma, darling, all the way out to the car, happy that I got out of there just in the nick of time, because I would have been rolled into this.
Yeah.
That does not just happen.
You got to leave on your own terms. The rest of them
I got to leave on my own terms. And I literally just, everything's cool, right?
Right.
So I'm ecstatic that I got out of there just in the nick of time, and I'm doing what I'm doing now. Oh, come on, phone. I'm ecstatic that I'm doing what I'm doing now, that I got out of there in just enough time to, in all honesty, really protect my career. Because this is not just one of them things of like, oh, it happened. Oh, I'm going to move on to another job. This is a massive hazmat spill that nobody saw coming. Nobody, everybody just kind of, they're over there, they're playing goof off games. They're not taking the maintenance of these trucks seriously. And this happens, okay? Now, this was the truck that I had in Austin that on at least an every other day basis, I complained that this truck needed time in the shop to get it up to at least a maintainable standard.
Yeah, actually, I remember talking to you a few months ago about this truck and about how you told your former boss that it really needed some maintenance on it.
Oh,
it was a matter of time.
Yeah, it needed massive maintenance done. I'm like, this truck. And really, the first words out of my mouth when I called him was, you do realize that truck just told you it's retired. It does not want anybody in it anymore. It just retired itself. Yeah. It's done. Well, I think it can be fixed. Dude, you're high.
Yeah.
Yes, any machine can be fixed. Let's admit it. How much are you willing to throw at this thing to fix it? This is good money after bad. So, yeah, I literally danced my way across the parking lot to my car going, I got out of there in just enough time. This could have gotten me. This could have gotten me drastically. And the fact is anybody who's attached to this program, if the accreditation is pulled, they're going to have a difficult time finding a job because they did not respond properly to the situation, and they did not address the situation as it was coming up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm like, I shouldn't be laughing. I really should not be laughing at that. But
well, let's face it. You got out in time, so yeah, it happened to someone else. It's funny.
I really shouldn't be laughing at it because I do have friends that are still there, but it's the little things that make you giggle.
Yeah.
And let's face it, that's true.
Yeah.
If Rage was on here right now and dropped his pants, the little things would make us giggle.
I don't know about that. It might break my camera or my monitor or something. Man, I'm already blind in one eye. I don't want to get blind in the other.
Well, just think, if you were blind in both eyes, every time you're orally pleasured, it would be a surprise.
Ta-da!
Yeah, like, oh, hey, I know that feeling.
Hello. Oh, I do have some good news. Remember how I spoke about I was applying for a position at a local restaurant?
Yes.
To become the general manager.
Yes.
I heard I got the position.
You did?
Yes.
All right.
So I am now I start around the 6th because the previous general manager decided to take a vacation. Yeah. After all my stuff was finalized and I was hired. So I had to wait. But yeah, so a local restaurant in my area, I am now a GM of, it's crazy, but it's cool.
I wonder if you're going to be working with or underneath my cousin's husband.
Well, I hope I'm not underneath your cousin's husband.
Well, you know what I mean, in like seniority.
Yeah, I make a terrible bottom, TJ.
That's not what your wife said.
That's different. That's voluntary.
Hang on. Don't say the name, but I'm sending it to you in our private chat.
Okay.
See if that name sounds familiar.
No, it doesn't. I'll say the name of the. Well, I'll type the name of the person here. I'll actually send it through our.
I don't know what the hell happened there. Yeah, I sent it in our private chat. Did you get it? Right here on the show.
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay.
It's just I kind of have my keyboard pushed back so I have access to my tablet at the same time that we're doing the show.
Okay.
Space saver. So.
Because I think, yeah, you told me which chain it was that you're going to be working for.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, if it is the same chain, he is a manager for at least one of the stores in Springfield.
Okay.
And then you're going to be working at one of them where? In Taylorville?
Yeah.
Okay. So, no, and it's just one, or do you have multiple stores?
Just one.
Just one?
I'm just a general manager. I'm not a regional manager.
Okay.
I'm kind of thankful for now. Let's see if I actually enjoy the position before I take on multiple stores.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, it might be one of those where you're bending over, grabbing your ankles, and you're being a bottom.
Yeah.
Say, I've heard a lot about how good you could be at being a bottom. I mean, that's
it's fabulous, TJ. It's so wonderful. Oh my God.
I think even Steve alluded that he would actually consider you for being a bottom for him.
Yeah, I'd say no to Steve. The milk dud story alone tends to turn me away.
Yeah, no kidding. So they so I have to bring up that on that program now they have and it's Ray Lytle's Morning Disaster. You can tune in Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for free, or become a subscriber and have new content every day of the week. Corey says that they remodeled the old building and the new one looks actually really good.
Oh. Yeah, it does look pretty good. I haven't actually been in the building yet because I'm not allowed until the other person is actually there. Yeah, but I have been there and spoke to some of the employees.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. I try and get familiar with them.
So they have they have a new program that is on the Morning Disaster Network, which of course I'm going to plug, and it's called Father Steve's Confessions.
Oh, Jesus.
Or the Confession Stand. And you send in your confessions and then find out whether or not Father Steve is going to forgive you or not. Oh, okay. So Corey said he drove by the new store there on the way to Shelbyville on Tuesday.
Yep.
So you're going to be the GM there. Can I go ahead and say who it is? I'll give you a little free plug.
Sure.
All right. So you're going to be working for Sonic, correct?
That's correct.
So everybody, if you want Adam's footlong in your mouth, go to Sonic. Mm-hmm. He's going to be the GM there.
Listen, I'll even put chili on it for you if you want to be okay.
Don't worry, it's all good. It'll slide right down your throat. No, it's been this insane week. Like my old job, their truck shit the bed. Oh yeah, hey, Corey says he'll take any free drink codes you can get. His wife has a Sonic addiction.
Yeah, Corey, I'll see what I can do if you want to touch base with me outside of the show. So if something does come up, I'll hook you up, or at least see what I'm allowed to do.
Right. I'll tell you what. For the first time ever, what was it, last week? I actually tried one of their cherry limeades.
Yeah.
And I was actually very pleasantly shocked that it was really good.
Yeah, Julie likes getting those. She likes getting the Route 44, which is like the super size drink.
Right.
And yeah, she loves those things.
You know, like I said, I had never had one. I'm like, okay, I'll try it. Just morbid curiosity. Let me see what it. Oh, dude, yeah, I was very pleasantly surprised. It was really good. I was extremely happy about that too. Like, hey, I can deal with this.
Get one of those, take it home, add some adult additives, if you will. We're not going to do that at Sonic, but at your own house, you can add what you want.
Absolutely. Love me some adult additives.
Yeah.
Adult additives always make a person happier.
Yep. Unless
So
it's
I'm
one
hoping.
but you know.
Yeah. All right. Good deal. My VA check hit, so
Awesome.
I can get some bills paid over the next couple of days. I'm actually very happy about that.
See, there we go. We have Chef
Starlight Blackberry Whiskey. Would Blackberry Crown work just as well? I mean,
I would imagine so.
So Corey's recipe is putting in here, folks, is get a lemonade slushy from Sonic, take it home, add 3 to 4 shots of Starlight Blackberry Whiskey, mix and enjoy.
See?
He says hood shots, but I think he means good shots.
Heavy shots, say.
I mean, hood shots, that sounds like something that would have happened back at the old school that I used to work at as they were waiting on the diesel to run completely out of the tank before calling the fire department.
Yeah.
He says that the Blackberry Crown would work. The Starlight's a bit more syrupy, but Blackberry Crown works just as well. And, I'm not looking for the syrup. I'm looking for the kick in the ass.
So what if you take like a limeade slush and you add like Dr. McGillicuddy's cherry liqueur to it?
That may not be a bad idea.
To make a cherry limeade.
That may not be a bad. That might actually work out real well. Yeah. That would be something to check out. I haven't had any updates this week other than Rage did start chemo. Radiation treatment. I haven't had really any updates from there because obviously that's wiping him out.
Yeah.
But I am going to call tonight when I go to work, and I'm going to see, after I get done doing all of my spots, I'm going to see how he's doing. So I've got an update at least for Sunday.
Yeah, at least check in with Heather to see.
Right. Like I said, I do know that this has got to be wiping him out. But I do see things up on Facebook every once in a while where he is reminding us all that he's not going to go down without a fight. He's going to be typical Rage. He's not going to go quietly.
He doesn't go anywhere quietly. What are you talking about?
He's going to go down flipping the fucking double bird the whole way, which is great. I mean, at least I'm still seeing my old friend there,
We would expect nothing less from Rage.
I told him I'm going to tell the truth about him, about how he pissed himself while chasing a tornado. He still claims that that's not the truth, even though we know the truth.
Come on, Rage. The truth will set you free.
Yeah, I mean, just admit it. You pissed yourself, He won't admit it. It was my big gulp. No, you pissed yourself.
Yeah, it was your big gulp fully your piss.
If you're calling that a big gulp, then I don't want to meet the girlfriend from back then because she was drinking it. And that is wrong.
Yeah. It's all salty and warm.
God.
Little basketball reference for you.
Right. No, that's just, my God. I have heard so much this week. Just so much. I've heard people admit to tasting their own semen. I've heard an individual forgive a pervert and not forgive a trans woman for being the victim of this pervert. How does this work? You know? There was all right, you know, they do the Thursday night subscriber show, which is probably one of my favorite ones that they do on Morning Disaster, right? Yeah. And if you become a subscriber, I would recommend not listening to tonight's program. It was an hour and a half discussing semen.
Yeah, that does not sound like like a good discussion to be a part of. I mean,
no. I'm like, and I'm sitting there listening to it and thinking, what does that make me? Where I'm still glued to this and listening to it, where really I should just shut it off.
Yeah.
How am I just so enthralled with this conversation that I would expect from a couple of very immature high schoolers, and I'm just enthralled with it. And I'm going, I should have turned it off, but I'm stuck. And I'm just drug right in, and I'm going, how?
It is one train wreck of a conversation.
Oh, yeah.
You want to look away, but you can't.
You can't. And just as I thought the train wreck was going to go away, here it comes again.
Literally.
And it just hit you. If this was a literal train, I would have been mowed over like 19 times. Because there was multiple times I'm like, I should just log out. Wait, no, really? How many references?
Pulling it back in, TJ.
And it just reeled me right back in like a fish. And I'm going, how? Just blown away. But if you can, I do highly recommend you become a subscriber. Just avoid tonight. Unless you like conversations about semen, and then tune in and listen to what happened tonight. And I seriously do recommend becoming a subscriber. You get a lot of content there. Man, other things going on. Let's see. Other things going on. There was a couple of things that were really interesting that were brought to my attention over the last week that I never really got a chance to talk about. Get this brought up here.
So while you're doing that, something that's happening to me, I'm now waiting on a insulin pump. My doctor ordered me one. That was one of my appointments I had to go to. So new job, new insulin pump. Instead of taking, I'm taking 3 different shots, like 7 shots. Yeah, and pills to help manage the diabetes.
So this in from Thompson, Georgia.
Okay.
Oh, this just, yeah, it makes you feel so good about elected officials in different towns, right?
Right.
So there was an indictment that was issued Wednesday in McDuffie County Superior Court, according to the AP, that 52-year-old Thompson mayor Benjamin Benji Carey Cranford has been indicted.
Names of other people, dude.
Yeah, that's a lot of people. Okay, all right. So he has been indicted because on June 3rd, he drove to a store, bought a bottle of Seagram's Extra Dry Gin,
okay,
and then left it in the ditch along Georgia 150 in Thompson in the path of a work crew of state prisoners from the Jefferson County Correctional Institution. According to Georgia state law, this is illegal, and you cannot leave that as a gift for a state prison work crew.
I was supposed to say, who tried to smuggle that back into the prison? And how?
How did they try to smuggle it back? Did one of them try to shove it up the other one's ass to get it back in there? I mean,
I guess it depends on the size of the bottle. Was it a handle, a fifth?
Yeah, I don't know. Cranford was arrested at the Thompson City Hall after a city council meeting and was led away in handcuffs on WRDW TV. He did not answer any questions, was released from the McDuffie County Jail on Wednesday on a $5,000 bond, and court records did not list a lawyer for him as of August 15th, and he has not yet appeared before a judge.
Okay.
Amazing. Now, I mean, look, I could see a prison work crew cleaning ditches and they find a bottle and it's got like trucker lemonade in it.
Yeah.
I've left a few. I think I've even left a couple in Georgia. But a bottle unopened of extra dry gin. If you're going to go down, at least get a bottle of decent booze.
Maybe it was cheap and on sale that day, and I don't know.
Shit, then that's the case. He could have got a McCormick's vodka. I mean, what?
Yeah.
Come on.
It does remind me of the scene from the Shawshank Redemption, where Andy makes a deal with the prison guard captain.
Oh, and then they all got beer.
And him get beers.
Yeah, but this wasn't an outside. This was an outside official that literally dumped this on the side of the road.
The mayor was just showing his appreciation for cleaning up his town.
Was that appreciation or stupidity?
I think it was a little of both. Honestly,
I mean, it was obviously stupidity. He's up on charges for it.
Yeah.
People know what they are not supposed to know, and this guy knows as a mayor, you cannot give this shit to prisoners.
Yeah.
So he throws a bottle of it in the ditch. Here you go, boys.
Yep. What? It's just litter.
Well, here's the thing.
It's like, how do you know it's me?
I don't think they're going to let him go into the jail with it so he can share it with his new buddies that he tried to leave it for in the first place.
Yeah.
I mean, what did he think? Oh, they're going to get out there and pour martinis and you're going to have a prison work crew with 2 olives shaken, not stirred?
Yep.
Might as well have left a little bit of vermouth, too. There once was a young man named Sweeney who spilled some slow gin on his weenie. Just to be couth, he added vermouth and slipped his girl a martini. Thank you. My inner Marvin just kicked in.
Yep. Well, it is that time of night. I mean, it's 12:30 our time. So,
yeah, but I mean, I got in from work today at 6 a.m, and I went out and I had a couple cups of coffee with my uncle discussing the whole EPA thing with the school. Then I came home and laid down. I got back up. I ordered DoorDash. It arrived. I've been kind of snacking on it and going back to sleep. And I mean, I've just been up and down, and I'm like, okay, after we do the show, I'm going to pay a couple. Well, actually, I could pay a couple of these bills now, or at least one of them. I could pay my fucking car payment.
It'd be nice to keep your car, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'd kind of like to keep that.
Yeah.
But no, the fact of the matter is I don't want the Facebook page. I want the actual website, asshole.
I blame Google.
Yes, I do too.
Yeah.
But, I make, I'll do it online or whatever, and I do make payments on this car quite a bit. But no, matter of fact, we can have a little bit of fun. And I can tell you what I've got left after I make my payment, which I'm going to make right now. Select payment option, make payment now. I need that one. All right. Payment posted successfully. So let's look at the balance. Current balance remaining is right at $10,000.
Okay.
So no, but yeah, I mean, I do a lot of my stuff online, take care of it. There's one bill in particular I can't. I actually have to go and withdraw the money and get it put together and then give it to my grandpa, and that's a payment on my coach. But everything else, I got to work my ass off, and I could just do it online. I'll make the bike payment in the morning. I'll get the first part of the payment out of the bank account tomorrow. Actually, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I got to take care of one other thing with this too. That's going to require a Cash App. Yay. Fucking Cash App. I fucking hate fucking Cash App. Not that much.
It was about time you pay me for what I did the other night. No.
Well, you didn't swallow though, fucker.
I gargled. Isn't that enough?
No, you were showing off. I didn't know you were good with semen.
Bet you didn't know I could juggle with my mouth, did you?
I know, right? Trying to be a decent other half, much as it pains me.
Yeah.
Where I've got to be decent. Fucking, let's do this news story and then I'll complain. Another news story that came in over the course of last week. On August 23rd, New York City, a television helicopter news crew spotted a boy who had been reported missing but was actually up on the rooftop of his building playing hooky. The 9-year-old boy left his Brooklyn apartment at 7 a.m. Thursday but did not show up to school. The boy's parents called the police. They put out a missing child Amber Alert with the orange tie he was wearing. The local CBS news station helicopter and the reporter on the scene spotted the boy on the rooftop playing on his family's building. And the only reason they recognized the boy was the loud orange tie. Police get up onto the roof, and all the boy did was pack up his computer and his book bag and goes off with the police officers. And the police looked up back at the helicopter, gave them a thumbs up, and away they went. Okay. Let's start with this part of this. If that was my kid, there would be a fight.
There'd be a
like,
fight?
I don't know, say now. And it's going to be me and that kid, and we're going to be ready. I mean, what are you doing playing hooky?
Okay, let's say it was Riley who did this. Okay?
I'd kill him.
Would you not? Well, would part of you not be impressed at the fact that he figured out a place to hide to do this, where he was still safe, but could actually miss school? I mean, yeah.
No, I would not be impressed. I'd be pissed.
Not even a
Why
part
would
of
I?
you wouldn't be like, man, I wish I would have thought of that when I was a kid.
I did think of that when I was a kid. I was a delinquent. He doesn't need to be like me.
Well, no, hiding on a rooftop so no one can find him?
I mean, for crying out loud. They dropped last week they also dropped the second part of the latest season of that 90s show.
Yeah, you told me about that.
Oh my God. I loved it because there was a scene where Donna walks back down into the basement. You're like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
And Leia, their daughter's best friend, she goes, cheese at the cops. And Leia goes, oh, no, it's not the cops. It's just my mom. And Donna says, well, today I'm a little bit of both. She goes, I don't want any of you thinking you can get away with anything. You're all delinquents. I know you. I was you. And I'm like, I can relate to this.
Yeah.
Later on in the episode, the side story on that episode is Donna and Kitty are in an argument over a backpack. And Donna goes up.
That was in Steve's closet for so long.
No, better. No. Like actual backpack for school. So Donna goes up to Leia's room to change out the backpack for the one she bought. And then looks, something's not right, turns on the light, pulls the blankets back. They've got an inflatable alien. Leia's got an inflatable alien in her bed to cover for her not being there. Donna pulls it back, looks, stands straight up, and goes, delinquents. And they did it because they wanted to go hang out on the roof of the school before the first day of school, the last night before school.
Okay.
Final scene. There's all the kids. They're smoking. They got the circle going. They're playing guitar. They're on the roof. They keep going around the circle. Kitty, Red, and Donna. They start going around the circle again. Everybody looking like, I'm going, oh, this is deja vu. Like when Red walked into the basement and caught all four of the guys in the circle. And Red, smoking grass on the roof of the school. This is a new dumbass move. Dumbass. And Donna looks and goes, really? The roof of the school? You didn't think I would figure this out? I know all the hiding spots, delinquents. I'm interested in what's going to happen in the next season.
Yeah.
And I hope they keep going with this, double drop per like they did this time. Because that was what they did with the ranch is you got to drop every 6 months. And it just worked out really well. But it was 10 episodes each drop on the ranch. And I'm like, get back to that. I had something that I could really look forward to with that. This drop was 6 episodes. I'm going, really?
Yeah.
And I don't get it. Why are they doing that now? Now that the ranch, it worked. You got 10 episodes, 6 months, 10 more, 6 months, 10 more. And they did that until they ended the show.
Okay.
Why are they cutting it down? It's like, look.
Like, admit it. You're going to watch.
There's a Texas burger from DQ. Look at that.
So admit it. Whether it's 6 or 10, you're going to be watching.
Yeah, but, I do. All right, so I'm greedy. I want more. But
I mean, that's fair. But if they can do less and still maintain their viewers,
but I think the reason why it worked with the 10 is you actually you would get an episode or two of the overlap from the previous part.
Okay.
And then it would start to set you up for the new part and what's going on. Okay. And I loved how that was done. And I'm like, go back. Do that. And they always left it on a fucking cliffhanger, which always pissed you off. Fuckers.
Yeah, but that made sure that you were going to come back to see what happened.
But I did. And I did. All right. Look, the ranch was one of them that they had done recently that I really liked. Cobra Kai. The thing I hate about Cobra Kai is that they drug it out. You got 10 episodes a year. Like, come on, you could do more than that.
I mean, even if they went up to a 6 and 6 twice a year drop off.
Right. That would have been an improvement. Now, this final season of Cobra Kai, they have 3 drops. They've already dropped the first 5 episodes. The next 5 drop in, I believe, November. And then the final 5 are going to drop after the turn of the year.
Okay.
Look, I enjoyed the Karate Kid movies. I'm happy they're doing what they're doing with this. I want to see how it's going to unfold. They've done a great job with writing it and producing it and creating it and doing what they've done. I mean, it's been a fantastic setup. But I go back to, like, I'm not happy with how much content you're really getting. I don't want to overdo it either, because a lot of the better shows that were out there and have been out there, if any of us are really honest with it, when you look at that, they did limit their content. And but let's take Dexter or Sons of Anarchy. Let's take one of these programs that were out there like that. And you're talking 12 or 13 episodes per season, one a week, and they release it, and then you get to watch it, right?
Right.
That was great. I loved that, because then it didn't feel like it was as long until the next one started, and you're really starting to build anticipation when the next season would start. If they would go that route with like a Netflix series or Amazon Prime has gotten very good at that, especially Paramount Plus and Showtime, where they release one a week, and they're doing really well with that. And a good example, and Adam, you'll back this up because you remember me complaining about it. It was 9 episodes for the first season of it, was Tulsa King.
Yeah.
And I got really into it, and I bitch every week waiting for the next episode because they left every single episode on a cliffhanger.
Yep,
and I'm just like,
time they have you coming right back.
And I did. I came right back, but I've been waiting. That's getting ready to come out here very soon. I've been waiting on Tulsa King to go. I'm going to get it. I'm getting season 2, finally.
Yep.
There's another one, but like if you look at Netflix likes dropping as much as they can on you, instant gratification. Wednesday, I was a big fan of the Addams Family. I did get into Wednesday. I watched that. I binged that in about a day and a half.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, fuck. Now I'm stuck. Fuck a duck. And we've waited almost 2 years, and they're just now doing the final filming on season 2. Because, Wednesday came out. I was still in Illinois.
Yeah.
And I've lived down here for almost 2 years.
Yep.
So we're talking almost 3 years now that Wednesday came out. But no, I liked Jenna Ortega did so fantastic with that part, and I've been excited to see what they were going to do with it. And they are just now finishing up the filming on it. Tulsa King getting ready to come out. I cannot wait for season 2 of Tulsa King. I have been watching the trailers, and I'm like, oh, God, please get this started. Please get this started. I'm excited for when that first episode drops. And I'm going to look it up real quick. Tulsa King season 2. The series will return. What does it say? Season 2 release date officially dropped, blah, blah, blah. Look, shut up and just give me my release date.
Just give TJ his release, damn it.
Right. Okay. The renewal's made public November 30th of 2022. God, I love how they want to just drag this shit out. Okay. The series will start on September 15th. They will start releasing one episode at a time. So, of course, I'm going to be like, I'll be walking around like the monkey. Like, yes! Might scratch my ass a little bit, jump up and down on my recliner. I don't know. But no, I'm really excited for that. Of course, November, we've got Cobra Kai coming back out with the next 5 episodes. There's a lot of good stuff that's out there. And probably the one I'm the most excited for right now, I'm just building up the anticipation for it. And they're just finishing filming later on this year, and I don't know when, but they are releasing Dexter Original Sin, which is
very excited about those coming up.
Oh God, yeah. So the Original Sin, it's going to contradict a little bit of what we saw in the first season of Dexter, the first series, on how everything came about. But I'm really excited for this because it's basically Dexter's transition from a student into forensics into the serial killer we all fell in love with. Yes, I know it's pathetic, but I love the way that the premise of it. And then sometime next year, Michael C. Hall, the man who made Dexter, brought Dexter to life, is coming. He is returning to the role for Dexter Resurrection. Now, when they did Dexter New, and Adam, I think you remember me talking about this. When they did Dexter New Blood in the series, that part of it was done. And I was like, damn it, man. I mean, I can't believe they did it like this. I wasn't really happy with how they ended it off. It was fitting, but I was pissed.
Yeah.
And at the end of New Blood, Dexter's son shot Dexter. So you thought he was dead.
Yeah.
I was like, no, they got to do something. Resurrect, do it the way Clyde Phillips, the original showrunner, do it the way he wanted it done. In the show, the way he wanted it. He wanted Dexter to end with Dexter in the electric chair awaiting execution in Florida. And that when they threw the switch, that's when they ended the show. And I'm like,
it makes sense.
That would have been great. Like watching him, or into the gas chamber, or whatever they're going to do, but watching him walk to his execution, having, finally coming to justice for being the Bay Harbor butcher.
Yeah, because I could see him like laying him out, doing the shots, the injections, and the last thing you see is the line going across. And
yeah,
and then it just
that would have been
done.
Great too. But there's so many ways they could have ended that, where Clyde Phillips got his wish and they ended with Dexter's execution. No, Clyde Phillips moved on to something else. They went a different route with the original series. Deborah died.
Okay.
Which was Dexter's sister. He dumped her overboard, took his boat into a hurricane, and faked his death. And the final scene you had of the first series was Dexter getting out of a logging semi, walking into a cabin, and sitting down at a table by himself and looking at the camera with this big scruffy beard. Then it fast forwards 10 years, you get New Blood.
Okay.
He is a sporting goods store clerk in the fictional town of Iron Lake, New York.
Okay.
And ends up killing a guy that had killed multiple people in a boating accident. But it was more of an impulse action because he was also pissed that this guy killed a white buck on Seminole land.
Okay.
And then it spirals way out of control because one of the other things that happens is Dexter's son shows up out of the blue. And Dexter learns that his son's got the same tendencies. For the first time in the series, Dexter broke the code. But he really kind of kept the code because it was don't get caught.
Yeah.
And in the last episode, he had to admit this to his son, and his son shot him. The chief of police knew that his son shot him and let the son go. Now we're going to do Dexter Resurrection. Now, at the end of New Blood, they came back and they said, is Dexter dead? And Clyde Phillips says, yes, Dexter is dead. Now, at Comic-Con, you get, good old you get Michael C. Hall. He's like, is he? It's really cold there. And I'm going, you fuckers found a loophole. They found a fucking loophole. And they said, all right, they did New Blood. They're doing Original Sin, and now they're going to do Resurrection. But they made a point of saying Resurrection is not going to be a one-season one-off. This is going to be a build to a final climax for Dexter. And I'm like, oh, please, God, because there's so many of the books they never explored. When they did the first season of Dexter, they stuck really true to Darkly Dreaming Dexter, the first book.
Okay.
But they've never explored the book, like one of the books of like Dexter is Delicious, where Dexter went up against cannibals.
Okay.
Okay. There's a lot of stuff in these books that I'm like, I like Jeff Lindsay's vision for Dexter a little better, honestly. And the only thing they really based off of Jeff Lindsay was the first season. And they really didn't even do that right because they killed off Dexter's brother, where in the book, Dexter let his brother live. And then his brother came back in a later book and just started schmoozing up to the family, and they started loving him. And Dexter's like, I don't know if I like this.
Yeah.
And, but the other thing that they held true to in the original series was how Dexter died, which Dexter, quote unquote, died in a boating accident in a hurricane. And it was always based around Miami. Speaking of Miami, so I don't know if anybody realizes it yet, but can you believe that this year Miami Vice is 40 years old?
I don't know that I necessarily want to think about that.
I mean, I remember watching this show when I was a kid.
Okay.
And I own the series now. I mean, I watch it quite. Miami Vice is one of my favorite TV series. In celebration of Miami Vice turning 40, a lot of the original cast, they are meeting in an upcoming, I'll get you the exact dates, but they are meeting in South Miami. And it's going to be basically like a 4-day party.
Okay.
Let me look it up here. I read about it earlier today. Okay, it's Miami Vice 40th reunion. It's being hosted by Miami Vice Events. I'm actually going to bring it up here and read about it while series regular, recurring character, guest star, series extra. And they've got prices for about everything. So you could do 2 VIP tickets for $750. You could do 1 VIP ticket for $550. 3-day general admission for $300. 1-day general admission for $100. Cast and crew dinner experiences ticket, tax and gratuity included, $185.
Okay.
Cast and crew dinner experiences with basically Trudy and Gina, Sandra Santiago, and Olivia. Oh God, I can't remember Olivia's last name. That's $185. You can do brunch with the bad guys for $119. Guided filming locations bus tour for $50. Pepe Cerna Life is Art, $15. American Badass, a Michael Madsen retrospective, $25. And a guided filming locations walking tour ticket, $25. So the cast that's going to actually attend this, you're getting Edward James Olmos, who was Lieutenant Castillo. Yeah, it was Olivia Brown. Sandra Santiago has confirmed Detective Gina Calabrese. Olivia Brown, who is Detective Trudy Big Booty Joplin. You have Bill Smitrovich, who was Scotty Wheeler, DEA. He was a DEA commander. You had Bruce McGill, who played Dr. Hank Weldon, who was retired. He was also crazy. There's a lot of people that are coming in that were cast members, and it's not just the good guys, it's the bad guys too. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4 that have not confirmed yet. They're awaiting, and they're listed as awaiting unknown. Bob Lacey Jr. is set director or decorator. Oh, okay. Pepe Cerna, who played Oswaldo Guzman and Zabado. So he was a couple of the bad guys on the show. And then you had Ismael East Carlo, who played Victor Vasquez, and he also played Chichi Rodriguez. So, I mean, you got a lot of these folks coming back, but the awaiting unknowns. Come on, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Right. I don't see John Deal, who played Zito. I don't see, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but the guy who played Switek. I don't see Switek. I don't see Philip Michael Thomas, who played Tubbs, and I don't see Don Johnson, who was the center of the show, Crockett. And you got 4 open spots here? For the 40th? Come on, they're going to show. And it's hosted, and it is coming up in 13 days. I'm probably going to watch this. They're going to be doing a lot of stuff live on like Facebook and whatnot, so I'm going to pay attention to that. I'm looking forward to it. Edward James Olmos has been a big part of a lot of different things that I like to watch ever since Miami Vice. And he just pops up and it's like, oh, hey, that's Castillo, the fucker. Obviously my favorite part he did was Castillo, but he was in Dexter. He was a bad guy in Dexter. I was not a big fan of Mayans MC as much as I was Sons of Anarchy. But Edward James Olmos' part in Mayans made it a little more palpable for me.
Okay.
I was able to stomach it a little better. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You're being awful quiet at this point. I know I've been rambling.
Yeah, I mean, me and you talk about this stuff. I'm not I don't really have a lot of time for TV and stuff, so I really don't watch. I'm glad that you find a bunch of joy in, in TV shows or reboots. And sometimes it's not really joy in the reboots. It's just, can they make it as good as the original? And usually,
there's a lot of that. I'll be honest, like one of my coworkers, the one I was riding with this week, he and I were talking, and like Bel Air, when they made the announcement they were going to do Bel Air, and it was a complete reboot of the Fresh Prince of Bel Air series. This is what it is, blah, blah, blah. They didn't really allude to a lot of it, okay? They just said it's basically a reboot. It's going to be more in-depth. It's going to be a little more serious. This is what it is. To be perfectly honest about it, I was really apprehensive. And I was like, do I really want to sit down and watch this? Am I going to really respect it for what it is? And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna watch the pilot, the first episode. I'm gonna give it a chance. If I don't like the first episode, I'll shut it off. I'll go to one of my go-tos and I'll be good. Okay.
Okay.
It drew me in really quickly. And the thing that really intrigued me and got me really drug in and really invested in the series is it is a very, very different take on the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. All right. We all remember that Will Smith sitcom that had its serious moments, but it was more making jokes on Uncle Phil, Jazz getting thrown out the front door.
Or, poking fun at Carlton or...
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We had this whole thing where it was, here is this family of privilege. Here's this street kid. Throw them together. We have comedy. Jeffrey was a butler. And that was it. He was a butler. You rang, butler.
Yeah.
The way they've rebooted it, as an example, Jeffrey is not a butler in the new reboot. Okay. Jeffrey is, quote unquote, house manager with a whole lot of OG coming out. That man is straight up gangster. Uncle Phil is not this lovable character that everybody remembers. Actually, Uncle Phil can be kind of scary. And you mess with his family, he goes gangster on you. Aunt Viv is managing an art magazine. Hillary is a social media influencer, does a lot of cooking, and can't decide between the football player or Jazz. And she actually dated Jazz in the new reboot.
Okay.
Jazz, hardworking, down-to-earth guy, got his 65 Impala that's his baby, and runs a record store in Inglewood. Carlton, twisted, very self-centered, life of privilege, highly intelligent, and a cocaine addict.
Oh
yeah, and very, very ruthless. He will figure out what it is, but he will stab you in the back to get what he wants and twist that fucking knife. Ashley is still at that young age. She's coming up. She's starting to, understand who she is and develop, and she kind of all over the spectrum a little bit, but you're seeing this young girl that's growing up and looking for purpose. And then you got Will. And they took it a step further on how Will wound up in Bel Air. It wasn't just a fight.
Okay.
He was arrested for public discharge of a firearm.
Okay.
And that felony charges because he discharged it during a fight.
Okay.
And that was your setup. Phil pulled strings, got Will off, and flew him to Bel Air to get him out of Philly. Because Will not only lit rounds off out of that pistol to protect his friend, he leveled that pistol at the banger that started everything in the first place. And when Will was let out of that jail, that banger looked up and said, "I'll see you soon." So the setup for it, the way they've done it, how it's come along is so much darker. It is more dramatic. It is a lot more intense. And don't get me wrong, I still love sitting down and watching the sitcom that I grew up with. But this particular reboot has been one that I've really been drug into. And that's on Peacock. And I recommend it. I highly recommend it.
Okay.
If you get a chance to watch it. And start from the beginning because, Adam, you watched The Fresh Prince of Bel Air. You remember a lot of that.
Yeah. I still remember one of my favorite episodes is Uncle Phil at the pool table.
Oh, God, yeah, I love that.
Jeffrey, give me Lucille.
Break out Lucille.
Yeah.
I love that. $100 a ball? Okay. Jeffrey, break out Lucille. The fuck? One of my favorites of the original Fresh Prince of Bel Air was when Will and Carlton were arrested. Because you had the comedic side of it, of them trying to get the point across that they weren't allowed the phone call to call Phil. Yeah. And trying to get the point across that there they were, and they needed out of jail. And Will did it. I mean, Will being Will. And he got them out of, he got Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv to know, and then Uncle Phil's partner. Let me ask you something, officer. When you got this so-called confession from these boys, did they have a lawyer present? No, because I'm their lawyer. Were their parents notified that they had been arrested? No, because we're their parents. So don't tell us to hold on and don't tell us to calm down. You go open up that door and you let those boys out of there, or I will tie up this police department in so much litigation that your grandchildren are going to need lawyers. I mean, that was the original Uncle Phil and the way he was. And another episode that really grabs me every time I watch it, and I mean, almost to the point of bringing tears, is the episode when Will's father showed up.
Yeah.
And the original, but Will's father in this version is actually getting more and more prevalent. You're seeing more of Lou.
Okay.
And I'm going, man.
I think we all remember in the old show with Will's dad, after he disappeared again, and that breakdown of Will into Uncle Phil's arms.
Yes, that's the part that really, that's the tearjerker part of it. You know, that's the part that, and it was messed up, you know, how they did that.
But it really drove it home.
It did. You know, this is part of where Will was coming from. And, you know, another thing that another part of the show that I really remember is the final episode, where Phil looks up and he goes, "You don't have a place to live? Why didn't you tell me that?" And Will goes, "Look, I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want you coming and bailing me out again, because I didn't want you to think I'm the same stupid kid that I was when I flew out here." And Phil looking up and going, "You really don't get it, do you? You don't know what I think of you." He goes, "When you landed here, I saw a kid with all the potential in the world." He goes, "And when I look at you now, I see a man that's about to realize that potential. Let's go get you an apartment." And I mean, you know, it just, things like that on the original series, it really grabbed you. They had different things that were brought to light, and different things that different people have had to, different groups have had to deal with over the years. Like, you know, on the episode when they were arrested and Carlton just oblivious. "Well, I learned a lesson from all of this." "Oh, what'd you learn, Carlton?" "Next time, bring a map." Dude, we were arrested because, you know, and he told him, you know, they were arrested because they were in a Mercedes. They weren't in a burnout Pinto.
Mm-hmm.
And they were black. "Well, we were going too slow, and that's why we were arrested. If I had a map, we wouldn't have had that problem." "Oh, okay. I didn't know we were breaking the slowness limit."
Yeah.
And Will's trying to drive that point home. Good night, Carlton. Good night, Carlton. Carlton, in that, when it finally hit him after Will drove his point home and went to bed, you see Carlton coming to grips with, you know, racism is still there. It's still very real.
Yeah.
And it's amazing that even in this day and age, that there are people that are out there that judge other people on what they are.
Yeah.
Not who they are. And I have to, you know, I have to be very, very honest about it. That is, at the least, that's troubling.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you have people making judgment calls based on the color of a person's skin, the gender a person is or portrays.
Mm-hmm.
How about you just get to know the person?
Right.
Maybe you like who the person is underneath all that.
Hey, big shock. It's been known to happen.
I know.
I have friends that are of all walks of life. And I have friends that are, and believe it or not, out of some of those friends, there are some that are very judgmental. And they're judgmental based on politics. When did we become a country and a society that makes a judgment based on who you voted for? How did that happen?
Especially when usually the two people you're voting for both kind of adds up to a loss.
Well, yeah. I mean, let's look at this election this year. I'm going to cast my ballot. I'm pretty well leaning where I think I should go with that ballot. I'm not going to tell anybody who I'm going to vote for.
Yeah.
Or, it's in all honesty, and that used to be something else too. Many, many years ago, it was, no, oh, you want to know who I voted for? Yeah, it's none of your motherfucking business. That's who I voted for.
Mm-hmm.
That used to be it was personal. And you went in there and you made a judgment and you voted your conscience. And honestly, I think we wound up with something better when that happened.
Yeah.
And now we don't have that.
Yeah, I mean, there used to be a day where you could talk about individual issues and how you felt about them, and you could walk away without making an enemy.
Yes.
But now if you believe differently than someone, you have to hate them now, I guess. I mean, what happened there? I mean, you can't just agree to disagree and walk away.
The only thing I do with people that are spewing hatred, I shut my mouth. I file it into this gigantic memory of mine, and I keep it stored. I keep it stored there. There are people I know that they are foul with how much hatred they have. They're foul.
Yeah.
I've said it for years. I don't care if somebody's red, white, green, blue, purple, orange, yellow, gay, straight, trans, bi, all of the above, none of the above, everything in between. I don't care.
Yeah.
I have one question to find out whether I'm going to get along with somebody or not. Are they an asshole? If you're an asshole, fuck you.
Yeah.
You're going to find out how much of an asshole I can be back. You want to try to force your ideals down my throat? Fuck you. I have a mind of my own, and I utilize it.
Yes. It's like sometimes whether we want to hear it or not.
Exactly. You don't like how I live my life or where I live or who I hang out with? Fuck you.
Yeah, the only time that should matter is if they're paying for you to do that.
Yeah, and nobody pays my fucking way, so they can kiss my fucking left nut.
Yep.
I mean, that's just the end of that one. I have friends from all walks of life. And I'm not just, and I know people who will say this that don't live it. And then I know people who are very open about they are extremely prejudiced. You want to be prejudiced, that's fine. That's on you. All right?
Yeah.
I don't judge on color. I don't judge on lifestyle. I don't judge on orientation. I don't judge on identification. I don't judge on anything. I judge on who the individual is.
Yeah.
And whether I feel comfortable being around that person or not. The end. Now, don't get me wrong. If you shit on me, you're going to find out what my wrath is truly about. You steal from me. You lie to me. It don't sit.
Yeah.
And I let's keep in mind, I hear this a lot. I was born at the end of April. I am a Taurus. I will hold that fucking grudge until my dying breath if I have to. Now, will logic set in on my thought process about it? Absolutely. But when it comes right down to the end of it, if I've got a dead set opinion on it, it's going to stay there.
Yeah.
And Adam, I think you're well aware of that.
Yeah. Quite.
I don't understand how people can put that judgment out there without really knowing what the other one is going through.
Yeah.
And that's not fair.
You know, hating someone for a choice they made when you don't know why they made the choice or what their choices were at the time.
Or if there really was even a choice to be made.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they had like 3 choices, but they were all awful.
Right.
So maybe they just chose the best they could out of what they had.
Or maybe there wasn't really any choice at all. This is who they are, and you're judging that person on who they are. That's foul.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me want to vomit. Or at least pee on somebody. I mean, one of the two.
Yeah.
You know, there are people I know that are extremely judgmental over the littlest shit. And they're judgmental. And some of them are judgmental. And I remember when they did stupider. And they want to be judgmental. Well, okay, fine. Be judgmental. I don't fucking care. Here, eat a whole bag of ass while we're at it, you know?
Like, I remember when you did this that one time. Do you remember?
No, I don't remember that. And they try to hide from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's the way I've seen a lot of people really reacting lately.
Yeah.
You know, don't sit there and knock that gay man just because he's gay.
Yeah.
That's his attraction. Are you in his bedroom? No, it don't affect you. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Don't knock the trans girl that's just trying to get by or prevent her from doing what she wants to do. Do you live in her pants? No. Then how does that affect you? Fuck off. That's how she identifies. It's who she is.
Yep.
You know, don't knock the black man that came out of the hood, worked his ass off to build a career and build something better, and then say he stole it. Fuck you. You don't know what he did.
So some people do that because they get jealous of what the person earned, and they're not willing to put in that kind of work to earn it themselves.
Right. You know, when somebody works their ass off and builds something up from the ground, don't try to tear it down.
Yeah.
Because that person can do it again.
Because I have friends who have started from the bowels of addiction.
Yeah.
And have done extraordinary things with their life coming out of it. Just encourage them to keep going.
And I know people that the addiction took them over.
Yeah.
And they had the potential to be something great.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasted time, energy, effort, money, resources, and even some of my heart trying to help a couple of them out. And I paid a very bitter, bitter price for it.
Mm.
This is the world we're in, folks. This is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with one political party trying to build up, another political party trying to build up, and they're trying to pit against each other and divide our country.
Yeah.
And destroy who we should be. One's doing it. This is the part that really gets me every fucking time I talk about this, too. One group is doing it under the guise of being Christians. And the other group is doing what they want to do under the guise of being for the people. Well, the one that says they're doing everything they need to do for the people, they've gouged my prices so far up through the fucking roof that I can't even take a dump without sitting there and going, well, there's $2 in toilet paper to wipe my ass one time. Oh, there's $4 in toilet paper so I can get a second wipe. Oh, there's $6 in toilet paper so I can get a third wipe. And look, I wipe my ass enough to clean the son of a bitch. I do not want to walk around with shit stains.
Or milk duds, whatever you want to call them.
Whatever you want to call it, yeah. And then on the other hand, well, you can't do that because the Bible says, look, I've read the Bible, jackass. Try again. And I also am not stupid. I realize that the Bible was wrote by man. And it wasn't even inscribed until almost 300 years after Christ's death.
Well, it was written by man. It was translated by multiple men. And it was also written in the Israel area. So it's a completely different culture as well. So you have to bear that into account whenever you read it.
Right. I mean, it was translated from what, Hebrew to Latin to English.
Hebrew, yeah, Hebrew was the Old Testament and Greek in the New Testament.
Oh, well, it was Greek. Okay.
Yeah. But you also have to remember some of the versions that came out were influenced by royalty, like King James Version.
Thank you.
It's like, sorry, royalty should not have that kind of pull on religion.
No shit. I mean, all right, the King James Version. The King James Version of the Bible was the first version to ever introduce tithing. You must give 10% of your income to the church. Motherfucker, I've got a Roman Catholic original edition that says nothing about tithing. Matter of fact, same chapter and verse, give to those less fortunate when you can, as much as you can.
Yeah.
That was it. You must give 10%. Yeah, motherfucker. You're all about the money. And anybody who slaps that King James Version in front of me, and Adam has seen it, I look at him and go, what do you want me to do with that? Wipe my ass? Because I know it was altered. I've proven it. So no, you got one side using religion as their weapon. 16th century England, anyone?
Isn't that what we tried to escape from?
Oh, no, let's go back. Let's talk about the Crusades.
Yeah.
Haven't you learned? And then you got two sides that are trying to tear down our history, namely our Civil War history.
Yeah.
You erase that history, ladies and gentlemen, I've got bad news for you. We are doomed at that point to repeat it.
Yeah.
And
That's
we
not
don't
really
come out.
something you should. That's not something you should want to repeat.
And let me tell you something. If it does get repeated, we don't come out as easy this time.
Yeah.
Because that one, if this country ever falls into another civil war, I'm afraid of the result.
Yeah.
I am
Same here.
terrified of the result. And you should be too. Do you think we'd come back with 50 states?
No.
What do you think it'd be?
I mean, obviously, the country would be fractured.
Yeah.
And we have people with differing beliefs throughout the country. It's not just specific states anymore.
No, it's not.
So you're going to have a bunch of infighting in a bunch of different states. So who knows where the battlefields are going to be? It's going to be just scattered.
The best thing that could happen to get us back on track would be a constitutional convention. A constitutional convention wipes everything out. We go back to the Constitution and the original Bill of Rights, and we start from scratch. But then we take that and we do what we should have done. We set term limits. We set age limits.
Yeah.
We
I think
set...
we're all finding that out with the presidency in and of itself. Having two older people, is that what we really want for our leaders?
Right.
I mean, a gentleman who can't use stairs properly and has an issue with standing and has a hard time with memory.
And thinks it's a good idea to publicly quote Elmo.
Yeah.
And then you got one that's spiraling more and more out of control every day.
Yeah. Seems more and more like his presidency is going to start off as a revenge tour first.
Right. And then it might turn into a presidency.
Yeah.
But the thing is, all right, look, we all know Donald Trump. Let's be honest about this. We all know him. Take away the social media. Take away the braggadocio. Take away the mudslinging, and let's look at the man's record. Only. Job market. During his 4 years, and this is how you do this, folks.
Yeah.
When you've got two people that are there, that they have records, you ask the questions, and then you research it and figure it out. So let's go with jobs. Donald Trump, during his 4-year presidency, was it difficult to get a job? Yes or no?
Well, you have to remember who you're asking, TJ. I've been disabled during that time. My desire for a job was unneeded. So,
but as I recall, you did take a job in that time frame.
Yeah, I think I had 2, I believe. I had a job working for a local school district as
Yes.
a special education aide, and then I also worked stocking at Walmart.
But was it difficult to get those jobs during that time frame?
For me, no.
Exactly. That you got to break it down to that point. Could I afford gasoline in that 4-year time frame? Well, I'll tell you right now, I can afford it a lot more then than I can now.
Yeah.
Was I during that 4-year time frame, did I experience rapid inflation all the time? No, I actually saw prices drop. The only thing I experienced an inflation of was my paycheck. All right. And you look at the different, all right, were we having a problem with illegal immigration during that time frame? Yes, we were. Was there measures being taken to take care of that problem? Yes, there were. The illegal immigration problem now, whole different scenario. I have to think about it when I go to the grocery store. I have to think about it. What am I willing to pay for?
Yeah, so what, like groceries have increased by like 60%?
Yeah.
Like overall, I mean, some have increased more than others, but overall, a general cart of food, like grocery cart, is 60% more expensive than what it was
4 years ago.
Yeah.
4 or 5 years ago. And we're talking even during the pandemic. Now, the only thing I had a problem with during the Trump presidency was towards the end of his presidency, I did have a little bit of a problem finding toilet paper.
I was stocking that toilet paper. A lot of time, I would take the pallet into the aisle. There'd be people waiting for me. And I just asked, at least wait for me to get the plastic wrap off, please.
And then
I
you'd
would take
run.
I took the plastic wrap off, and I would try to stock while people were pulling and stuff like that off of the pallet. I would maybe get like 4 or 5 items on the shelf. We're talking, that's just because it was paper towel.
Yeah.
You know, people were trying to get to the toilet paper first. So
now the one thing I will say is the little community that I lived in at that point in time, people weren't that fucking dumb. So if I went up to Dollar General, there was toilet paper and dish soap and laundry soap and everything else I needed, and nobody went stupid. Coffee filters. Everything we needed was there. They didn't get retarded with it. They went up, they got what they needed, they went home. That was it. Hey, the truck's going to be here next week bringing more shit in. Why do we need to do this?
I know us employees at the time had to ask our managers if we could go on ahead and grab a package of toilet paper to ensure that we had toilet paper at home.
Right? And then they're like,
and then
no.
You'd get it off the pallet, you'd go pay for it, and immediately take it out to your car.
And lock it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I didn't have to worry about that in the little town I was in. Little Manitou, Illinois. You know, and I was out in Goofy Ridge at the time, but little Manitou, Illinois, nobody even thought to go out and check the Dollar General in Manitou.
Yeah.
And we had everything we needed. The truck came in every week. It unloaded our supplies. Everybody'd go in, and we'd gradually throughout the week just get the little stuff we needed and take it home, and we were living just fine. That's how we handled it.
Yeah. It's like, I remember there was a time where one customer had 2 shopping carts full of water and 2 shopping carts full of toilet paper. Various types, whatever they could grab. And that's what they did. It was ridiculous.
And you're sitting there going, you're 10-ply, bud.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, that's how we acted. We treated it like, okay, it's a disease. Get your shots, wear your mask, do what you got to do. But don't go overtax the store. Don't go do that. I mean, we started going to the meat market in Havana, all of us that lived around there, and we were going in Dollar General, and that was it. And when the Hialeah opened up again, oh my God. I mean, all of us were hitting the Hialeah and grabbing our breakfast and having dinner and drinking. And it took a month for them to get opened up and past to where they could. And when they did, we were all up there again. Like nothing happened. Like nothing happened. I think we weathered out just fine.
Yeah.
But I would talk to like you guys in Springfield or Jacksonville or wherever everybody else was at, and I'd hear about it. And I'm like, dude, that's funny. Well, why? I've got 10 fucking rolls of toilet paper right now. I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah, no, it made it seem like the big cities or bigger cities were on the verge of rioting over toilet paper.
Yeah.
And you guys are just all chilling in the small town.
Yeah.
Just
yeah.
fine. Fine.
Yeah, we were just fine. Dude, I was out. Let's see. I got laid off for 2 months because I was driving for Flex and Gate at the time. And Flex and Gate literally made car parts. Well, when the car manufacturers shut down, I got shut down. There was nothing I could do. Yeah. So for 2 months, I sat at home, watched TV, played around on the internet, and literally I was drinking at 10 in the morning. I'd get up at 5 or 6. I'd have coffee. I would drink coffee till about 10, and then I'd start drinking. And I'd drink myself back to sleep. And when I ran out of Crown Royal, I drove my little happy ass right back into town, and I bought 1 more bottle and paid for it. And I got my smokes, and I drove my happy ass on back home. That was it. If I wanted a pizza, I went and bought a frozen fucking pizza, and I had a pizza.
Yep.
Because if you also remember, getting a restaurant anywhere was a pain in the ass back then.
Yeah.
And I think that was the thing I missed the most, was I missed the restaurants. I missed being able to go and sit down and eat and go to the bar and sit down and have a few drinks. I missed that during the pandemic.
Like that turned Steak and Shake into an awful restaurant.
Yes, it really did.
They stopped with waiters and waitresses and turned it into a sit-down fast food place. And that took the whole aesthetic out of it.
Corey says he never had a problem with toilet paper. A couple of times they couldn't get the good Sam's toilet paper, but Charmin worked. But yeah, I mean,
Angel Soft, personally.
I like Cottonelle. So I want a little more scrapage to get it all off of there. Let's scrape that turd out of there. Get it done, I don't want a shit stain. Or a milk dud. Or any of that. Yeah. But no, I kind of, to wrap up point before I move us into completing the show for tonight, when you look at Trump's 4 years, and if you're honest with yourself, and then you look at what we've been dealing with here for the last 4 years, and you know that Vice President Harris is going to carry this on if she is president. Of course, I have a friend of mine that is a sales manager, and of course he says this is a better economy because he sells cars. And now he's getting more money. Let's see. Corey says, Walmart was so stupid during the lockdown. They lost their minds. I hated going to Walmart. I was Central, and he was essential and had to work every day. And his work was driving to Walmarts to try and work on kiosks that they had moved and locked away. Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, I was essential too. I like the bonuses I got for working as an essential worker. That's one thing Walmart was good about, but I was technically an essential worker,
but I was not essential for what I was doing because I was driving, car bumpers to distribution points so we could send those bumpers into different factories.
Yeah.
Well, if the car factories are shut down, I can't really take my product there. It's already stacked up.
Yeah.
So when they started the factories, when they started up GM and Ford and Chrysler and those, they started back up. In that limited run, I mean, I remember, going in and doing whatever I could, but I'd be gone a week and then come back. And then I'd have a week off, and then the other guys would get their chance. I mean, that was being an over-the-road driver for them. With that being said, that's the biggest thing I could say is take a look at what it was then before the pandemic and then during the pandemic and then what it's been for the last 4 years and compare where you're at. And then make a conscientious decision there. And the best place to do it is in the voting booth. If you think some things are better now than they were then go ahead and vote for Vice President Harris. But if you think things were better then than they are now, vote for President Trump.
Yeah,
your choice.
Just go through, figure out what your personal priorities are.
Absolutely.
And look at the issues that affect those priorities.
Yes.
And then vote accordingly.
Exactly. And guess what? I got a $500 retention bonus that they took the employee money from the government. The new owners drove that company in the ground, and it's in Chapter 7 liquidation now. Ouch.
Wow. I got in the 3 months that I worked for Walmart, I got 2 $900 paychecks as bonuses for being essential.
Well, there you go.
And as someone who was working while disabled and didn't have a whole lot of money to go around,
yeah,
getting 2 bonus checks, that was a lot for me.
You know what else I remember during that point is they still kept gasoline down.
Mm-hmm.
And with that being said, oh, wow. We never do a 2-hour show on a Thursday night.
No, I'm
never.
Yeah. Yes, Corey. Good night.
Yeah, it's a good night time. I want to have this burger and watch people die.
Yep. Thanks for hanging out with us, Corey.
Yeah, thanks for sticking around. And by all means, spread the word that the show's here. Adam, your final thoughts tonight.
I had a really good one like halfway through the show. And then we just kept it going, and I lost it. So, I don't know. Just do what you can to be happy. And don't be an asshole. It's free to be nice. And if you can't be nice, just shut the fuck up.
There you go. This has been Amigos After Dark. We will be back Sunday night for Mayhem's Amigos. I will get the time to everybody so we can make sure everybody's on the same page. In the meantime, everybody take care. Watch out for each other. Vote your conscience, and we will see you Sunday night. I'm TJ. That's Adam. This has been Amigos After Dark. Good night.
Good night, everybody.